A little help from someone else. The White Dragon.
Oh, yes. I'd imagine she could give you some pointers.
The problem is I don't know where to find her. She could be anywhere.
Not so. I may know where to find her. I met a fellow traveler, a Dolmari from the Rose Court, actually, on a ship from Gian to Irhad not long ago. He told me he'd been to the Dark People's Library. Not many people are allowed there, and it was a great privilege. While he was there, however, he said that he was introduced to a pale, white-haired woman who introduced herself as the White of the Dryadkin. Now, I don't know if she's still there or how you'll get to the Dark People's City, but it should at least get you on the right path.
It does. Thank you, Brian. This is very helpful. So you've been traveling for the past decade?
I have, and I intend to keep traveling for the next decade or two, as long as I have my health. This world is fascinating.
You look so much better since the last time I met you. Younger, healthier, happier.
I do feel fantastic. I was bitter and angry back then, angry at myself at being stuck in this world. Now I don't see Arcadia as a prison anymore. I see it as an opportunity to grow and learn and experience. I'd forgotten why I crossed the divide in the first place. I wanted to go where few had gone, where there were still untrodden paths. Losing my home, being forced to run, it was certainly an awakening, and one I sorely needed.
It was good seeing you again. Are you staying long?
Another week, perhaps. Enough time to visit friends and pick up some things that I can't get elsewhere in this world. Then it's off to sea again. I've been thinking about heading east, perhaps convincing a whale rider to take me along on a hunt.
Sounds exciting. Take care, Brian.
And you, Ms. Ryan? April. Now, I have business with the innkeeper. So, how about it, Benrime? Do you have a cup or four of your mulled wine to spare for an old drunkard?
As I remember at Westhouse, you still owe me money on your tab from before the war.
My God, you have the memory of a stickman. Miss Selman, I've honestly missed this place. Hell, you're probably right. I owed a lot of people money back then. Seeing as I'm still a bit short on cash, you'll have to add this to my tab. But I'm coming into some gold tomorrow. Old debts repaid, so I'll settle it then.
That'll be the day the Azadi decide to just up and leave. Money first. Mulled wine after.
You're a tough woman, and I respect that. I have to tell you about this tavern I visited in a town near Altaban.
I'm sure you will find the White of the Kin. You are April Ryan, after all.
Heard any news lately, Benrime?
I hear the Azadi emissary is worried about rebel attacks on deliveries from the north. They still haven't finished construction on that dreadful tower of theirs. I understand that their empresses, the Six, are arriving for the inauguration. It would probably be a bad blow to the emissary if the tower isn't finished by then.
Good. We'll do our best to ensure that the tower remains unfinished. I hope Bryn hasn't caused any trouble for you. He's a bit hot-headed.
Bryn is a lovely boy. He's been courteous and sweet. He absolutely adores you, April. I hope you realize how much you mean to him.
I saved his life. Or at least I gave him one. He was orphaned and there was no one to look after him.
You did a good thing. But when you save someone's life, especially a child's life, you are also taking responsibility for that life. You may not care much for your own life anymore, April. But for his sake, you need to take care. You need to find something to live for again.
I have something to live for. Revenge.
Revenge is not enough, and it's just another excuse. So the Azadi have murdered friends and loved ones. For that, they must pay. But that is not something to live for, April, nor is it something to die for. What happens when the enemy is banished? What then?
There's no point thinking that far ahead. Have you spoken to Chuan about the charms?
I did. And they've already been loaded onto the ship. I believe there were 50 of them, enough to get you through the winter. Chuan seems to have changed this past year. There's less anger in him. He seems more concerned with delivering the supplies than murdering Azadi.
I think he's found some peace in the swamplands. And there's a woman, Ayala.
Ah, I see. It is time he left his past behind, to mourn so many for so long.
If anyone has the right to stay angry, it's him. The Azadi took everything from him, killed everyone he loved, enslaved him, and forced him to join their army.
And yet he decides to leave his anger behind and forge a new life for himself. Maybe you have something to learn from him, April.
I'm not him, Benrime. We all find peace in different ways.
And some not at all.
What do you make of Naane? She's not been with us long, but she has proven to be an invaluable asset.
An asset? Is this what you call your compatriots? I have not spoken with her much, but she is a skilled artisan. Her magic is strong.
I think she wants to ensure that the Azadi don't proceed any further east. I believe her family holds a high position in the Irhad.
It would make sense for the Sun Empire to rally their armies now, to halt the expansion. But I think the Emperor still hopes for a peaceful solution.
The Six will never accept the hand of a Domari ruler. Does the Rose Court think that the Azadi will grant them exemption from their ban on magic? It's naive. And it's dangerous.
So it is. But all we can do is plead with them to see reason. If more Irhadians do what Nane has done, we might change the course of this war.
Thanks for letting us stay here. I know you're taking a big risk by doing that.
I accepted that risk a long time ago, April. I could not simply stand idly by and let the Azadi terrorize my friends and customers. This is my small way of helping the rebels. I'm more useful here than I would be with a sword. I just hope that my contribution will have some effect, and that one day our city and peoples will be free again.
You should come east with us, Benrime. You'll be safe there, and your skills are needed.
They are needed here, too. And I do not want to abandon my inn or my customers. Also, fewer and fewer are willing to deal with non-humans. If I leave, who leaves next? Soon the city will not only belong to the enemy, it will be populated by the Azadi alone. What then of Old Town and its inhabitants? If no one is left to speak up, I fear the Azadi will simply burn it to the ground, together with everyone inside. So no, April. I need to stay here. This is where I'm needed the most.
I should be on my way.
Very well. Be careful, and may the balance be with you.
What can steam technology do for you? The question you should be asking is, what can it do? And the answer is, nothing.
Visit Hooper's Spells and Filtress for premium quality potions, magical ingredients, and made-to-order charms.
Old Town's getting too crowded.
Visit
It just
Roper's
wasn't built to
Spells and
house so many
Filtress for premium quality potions, magical ingredients,
Conditions in
and
the ghetto aren't
made-to-order
bad,
charms.
all things considered. We got food and water, and there's medicine and herbs for everyone. What we don't have is freedom.
Visit Roper's Spells and Filtress for potions, herbs, curiously shaped cookies, everything a wizard, witch, or warlock may require, using only the finest organic ingredients, elguan bladders, rat tails, dung.
They've kept the blue flame burning here in Old Town for 1,000 years, apparently.
Curiously shaped
It didn't even go
cookies.
out when the tyrant held the city. Good God, Roper clacks.
At your service, milady. What may I do for... Wait. I know you. Where do I know you from? April. April Ryan.
Oh, well...
How lovely to see you.
Say what?
It's been too long, my dear. Too long.
Yeah. I guess it's been... long.
What have you been up to?
This and that.
How lovely. Me? I'm rehabilitated.
Rehabilitated? How so?
Being soundly walloped by you was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Really?
Oh, yes. It gave me perspective, time to think. When I finally escaped that confounding device, I joined WWWA. Wicked Witches and Warlocks Anonymous. It's a marvelous support group for wizarding professionals.
Oh.
Oh, it helped tremendously to find others who shared my affliction.
Affliction?
A desire for evil deeds and world domination, your basic, EDWD syndrome.
I see. And now?
Cured! I'm free of my desire to conquer and control, and I'm happy to be a simple merchant and published author.
I guess that's a good thing.
It is. It is indeed. So, April Ryan, is there anything I can do to help repay what you did for me?
I actually do need some help.
That's great! Anything to assist the woman who turned my life around.
I'm looking for a way to get to the city of the Dark People.
Visiting old friends, I take it? Your adventures are the stuff of legends, April Ryan. By the way, did you ever read that pamphlet they published? The one with the amusing drawings? April Rye Bread and the Rod of Joy?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, I'll never forget that illustration where the Dolmari lady takes the Rod of Joy and sticks it right...
Anyway, about the Dark People City.
Ah, yes. What do you plan on doing there?
I need to visit their library.
The library? Indeed. They are collectors, these Dark People. They collect all sorts of knowledge, arcane, forbidden knowledge. Anyway, as luck would have it, there's a shadow ship docked down in the harbor right now. I'm sure they'll let the famous April Ryan, I'm sure they will give you passage to their city.
That's perfect, thank you. How did you get out of that calculator I trapped you in?
I had to learn advanced trigonometry. After that, it was as easy as multiplying the root of pi with the volume of my mathematical prison.
Oh, that sounds pretty complicated.
It Took me 5 years, but I gained some important personal skills in the process. I even had time to write a book. So it was all for the best.
You said something about being an author?
I published one. I wrote my memoirs a few years ago. Farewell to My Wizarding Days by Roper F. Clacks.
What's the F stand for?